I'm Cynthia Izaguirre in Dallas with your headlines from North Texas. With fewer than 100 days until the general election, the race for the U.S. Senate seat in Texas is entering a critical stretch. Both Ken Paxton and James Tallarico are working to shore up key voting blocks they'll need to win in November. Cole Sullivan explains where each candidate is focusing their efforts.
Fans are usually the ones who line up at the door. In DeSoto last week, it was also people looking to get convinced.
I just want to hear what he has to say. I'm interested in him.
Democrat James Tallarico is here to recruit voters he needs in a part of Dallas County that voted overwhelmingly against him in the Senate primary.
But there is no way to win Texas without black Texans.
He's not just saying that, says SMU poli-sci professor Cal Jolson.
It's absolutely critical because about 20% of the vote that he's likely to get will come from black Democrats. And if that goes down a couple points, it's big trouble.
Jolson says Republican Ken Paxton also needs to shore up votes, particularly among suburban women. Paxton focused on policing at his most recent event in North Texas.
When it was unpopular in some circles to stand with law enforcement, I stood with law enforcement.
With fewer than 100 days to go, the race is ramping up, says political consultant Erica Barrera.
Yeah, so after Labor Day, it is the sprint to the finish. So you're going to see them crisscrossing the state, trying to connect with voters.
And she says the polls out now, like the one showing Tallarico leading, only matter so much.
I think they're a good benchmark. Right?
So are crowds. What started as lines at the DeSoto Tallarico event gave way to some empty seats by the end of it. But the benchmark that really matters is the vote in November. In DeSoto, I'm Cole Sullivan.
A frightening moment for one Dallas neighborhood. A police chase starting as a robbery ended with more than 100 rounds of gunfire. You can see several bullet holes covering this police officer's vehicle. Brittany Costello shows us how neighbors are cleaning up after the chaos and what police are saying about the investigation.
Alpha Road in Dallas is back open. For Andrew Marks, it means he can finally clear off his driveway.
This is a unique situation.
He's blowing off broken glass and discarded gloves.
They had everybody here already. They had the dogs here sniffing.
An overnight shooting involving Richardson police ended on his property near 635 and Preston Road. Police say they were chasing an aggravated robbery suspect when he started shooting at them. Neighbor Jose Hernandez says he heard it around 2:30 this morning.
I was on the Fort Garlic, so like I said, my room is kind of like facing the street, and so I could clearly hear it, and so immediately I just went down to the ground.
Neighbor Emmanuel Cardoza says he counted more than 100 evidence markers in the street next to his home. Evidence, he says, matches what he heard.
It continued for a solid 10-20 seconds and just straight gunfire.
Bullets riddled a police unit. Police say this black Jeep belonged to the suspect, now identified as 34-year-old Ryan Drowan. He was hit, and police say he was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officers were not injured.
It's just random that it ended up here.
Police say it started nearly 20 miles away at a restaurant in the Colony around midnight. A late-night business owner says they called for help when a man who was not a customer attempted to rob people in their parking lot. They say the suspect pulled up and pulled out a gun. They say he demanded money before leaving empty-handed. The alleged crime led various police departments through Plano, then Richardson, before ending in Dallas.
The mess is the mess.
It's not enough to scare away longtime neighbors.
There's good and bad everywhere you go.
But they are thankful it wasn't worse.
Glad it's all over.
In Dallas, I'm Brittany Costello.
Newly obtained court records are revealing disturbing details behind a Forney ISD investigation. That investigation led to the removal of a principal, aides, and a teacher last May. An arrest warrant describes alleged classroom abuse and new questions about how that teacher was hired. Aaron Heft is digging into the new documents and brings us the latest from Kaufman County.
We've obtained new documents, including an arrest warrant, which shed light on the, quote, misconduct, including abuse, inside of Forney ISD.
In the arrest documents, Texas Rangers say they watched surveillance video that show 45-year-old Jonathan Michael harming students in a classroom. Evidence reportedly showing the teacher getting upset with a student and performing what's described as a, quote, armbar takedown, end quote, before pushing that student into a bookshelf. Documents also describe a separate incident caught on camera, allegedly showing Michael grabbing a student by their backpack or jacket, throwing them to the ground, then pressing his knee into that child's chest. The suspect was arrested in May, facing charges of injury to a child. In a statement, the district said, quote, he is no longer an employee of Forney ISD. We have no statements at this time, end quote. We spoke with Terry Miller, a national advocate who actively fights to ensure students are safe inside their classrooms.
The real problem is that teachers that are deviant and abusive do not operate in a vacuum.
District officials told WFAA Michael was hired in October of 2025 under a different name with a clean DPS and FBI fingerprint background check and clean certification through the State Board of Education. Later learning through an investigation, he had legally changed his name before being hired at Forney ISD. The district said the suspect had faced charges under his prior name, for which he was acquitted. In Kaufman County, I'm Erin Heft.
Latest census shows DFW is home to 5 of the fastest growing cities in the entire nation, including the #1 slot. Now new numbers show who is moving here. DFW is among the top destinations for millennials and Gen Z. Teresa Woodard explains why.
DFW is hot, and not just because it's July. Summer is the busiest time for moves, and new data shows DFW is the most popular place to move to.
This week will be my second month living in Dallas.
What do you think?
I love it.
For young people.
What's your name?
Derek.
Derek, I'm Elspeth.
I had many friends that came to Dallas and they said Dallas is the place to go for opportunities. If you want to get somewhere and be successful in life, you need to go to Dallas.
U-Haul tracks moves and says Dallas-Fort Worth is the #1 region in the nation for a net gain of millennial movers, #2 for Gen Z.
I actually moved here with no job, and I was able to find a job in about 2 weeks of me being here.
That job for Jocelyn Carter came at a real estate investment company where the vice president has seen North Texas transplants trending younger.
From an age standpoint, you see where you're dealing with 23-year-olds are making a decision at 22 to decide where they want to live straight out of college.
The job market, relative affordability, and lifestyle.
Social media is a big part of our life. I knew about the Katy Trail before I moved here.
Are DFW's selling points.
They said that the Katy Trail is like the runway for Dallas. It is. It really is. You might meet your husband or future wife on that trail.
And even in a sizzling summer.
Is Dallas forever?
Dallas is 100% forever. I'm never going back to Cleveland.
Jocelyn is sold.
Bye, everyone. I hope you have a great night. I'm going to go hit the Katy Trail if anyone would like to join, okay?
In Dallas, I'm Teresa Woodard.
Okay.
She is so cool. I want to be Jocelyn's friend. And those are your headlines from North Texas.